It's crazy, and I'm smiling because it's just like finally things are being exposed, especially the Western world, for trying to save the world. Something that they claimed to do. Let's see, the beginning of, well, I guess it wasn't the beginning of times because it was just during the early days of Western civilization. They claimed to come and save the people and convert them to the right religion, and and have them educated, whatever that meant, and educated in whatever they deemed acceptable and right. uh, and it's interesting. I believe this activist's name is Chihombori, and she uh, stated that USAID is a wolf in sheep's clothing, or that's how she would describe it, which is rather. I'm not surprised. I was just like, come on, let's take a moment to think about it. Western countries causing instability in foreign nations or places, and we can see that happening right now within Palestine. And their excuse is, well, Israel has to protect its people. Israel kicked out individuals that were living there. But yeah, they don't have, and they shouldn't be able to protect themselves, not only back then, but now, right? That's the logic. What? Because if and naturally, we even see that now with the current situation in the USA, where I believe what Trump and Trump's mission, and much of the white people that agree with his mission, is more so to make America white again. Or this is my take, due to the fact that they feel like they're being maybe overpowered. Many of the people, especially newer generations, are not in alignment with what was normal or acceptable back in the day, which is racism and hate for, communities of color. Mind you, communities of color were here prior to, Native Americans were here prior to Europeans. So that means Europeans were the official immigrants, but yet they want to kick out other immigrants. Okay, but anyways, yeah, it makes no sense, right? I am not surprised with that line that the activist shared. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correct, so I just want to say that that's something that's been happening from the get-go, right? This is something that caused instability in other countries in the name of protection and goodwill and whatever it is that they state, all of this that they're selling you. And I hope that many individuals are coming to realize, and I feel like with the newer generations being informed and educated on the real history of America, and I hope that the same applies for other Western nations around the world, where people can actually learn from history, because clearly history has and continues to repeat itself, as we see with what is happening in Palestine. Israel forgot those, and I wouldn't like to say, or just go ahead and blatantly say that although Jews it's an identity when all is said and done, but it's like individuals that have gone through difficulties, have been persecuted once upon a time, forgetting their own history, and now repeating the same form of history onto another group and people, is mind-boggling. It's crazy, and it's the reality of humanity and the world. People forget where they came from, and people forget their roots, and what truly made them great. And I find that, and I'll even go as far as to say this for my, fellow Black and Brown community, because this is something that even exists once many of us, come to Western countries, and we're just like, we want to conform, although I've never been one to be about conformity, but it's like we hear about that and see that, where we deny our own community, where we don't stand with our own community, where it can be smaller to larger things, right? And you know, I have so many examples, but at the same time, it's like examples from, you know, family members where they've immigrated to, you know, they've come from, and my parents are from two different countries in Latin America, but they've come from, you know, other countries, and many aligning with Trump views, where it's just like, you forgot where you came from. And I can say the same about the European, you know, those that are European descent. You forgot where you came from. You forgot your origins. You forgot your ancestry. But most importantly, you forgot that once upon a time you were an immigrant too. And that's crazy to me. So things like that is really sad. It's really crazy to see. But I guess to get back to USAID, I find that is much of the organization that exists, which is why I mentioned and naturally I'm reading this book. It's called American Taboo. It's a Murder in the Peace Corps by Philip Weiss. And as I've become more informed about the many unfortunate issues that have happened in the Peace Corps, I've also realized, wait a second. Many of these organizations that are here within the West that claim to do goodwill and, you know, help countries that are impoverished, right? Because it's sad that the West loves to label other countries as these undeveloped. It's just, it's so sad. It's just like, it's sad because it's like, there's a lot of issues already in the West that tells me it's underdeveloped in terms of thought, and when it comes to questioning ideas, beliefs that have been set forth by history, that tells me a lack of progress. And so many of the issues that exist here socially tells me a lack of progress. Why do we think that because our lack of progress may look different, that another country's lack of progress is greater, or that it requires it? Once again, white saviorism, colonization at play. And yeah, it's like a lot of these organizations, when all is said and done, are going to these countries because, most importantly, this instability came and is a result of much of colonization, much of Western meddling into affairs that they have no business in. But these organizations also pocket much of that money. Oh, let's fix a few things here or there, but the rest is going into our pockets, and as a result, going back into the West. So, yeah, sounds about right. A sheep or a wolf with sheep's clothing. Yes, sounds about right.